Okay, so it's Sunday, May 30. So basically we will have the weekly close tomorrow in 24 hours and the monthly close, which is massively important, in 48 hours. So this is quite important, these 2 days, to see where we will go in terms of market structure and on market direction and sentiment. Okay, so this is the daily. We close the daily below support, or quite on, yeah, below daily support, and below the monthly candle close. So just for a little bit, but it's enough to have follow up or follow down, as we can see. So this is just easy price action. We got this bullish engulfing here. Everyone got bullish, but we were below the 200s, we were below the 100. This started to look like a bearish retest, then suddenly rejection of the 200 simple, continuation, and then we had the weekly support. We still didn't come here to test it as resistance, but we just rejected the daily and the 277 moving average, and basically this support here on candle close, this structure, this area here. The big area was this candle, this one, with this top. We had this big range. We tried, broke down, and now the range is like from here, the resistance is here. And to start to look more bullish, we need to start close above this area, the 38, 173. And of course, when we resume sometime in the future, the 21 exponential on the weekly chart. So for now, we are ranging still, liquidating some late shorts that are trying to short now, and of course the price goes up because they are over leveraged, maybe 100x, 50x to try to be millionaires, and suddenly they get liquidated. So you need to know what you're doing, you need to wait for market structure, price structure, and see exactly where you have to act. We also have here the Fibonacci golden pocket that we just rejected on the 4 hours and on the low time frames. We still didn't reject on the daily structure and the weekly structure, etc. Okay, so we are, on terms of daily, we are overbought and we are trying to find support to try to push higher. So everything is still possible. The market is on extreme fear and we still can have a bounce. We have this trend line, 1 point, 2 points, creating this trend line. We have the monthly wick here, the 12 exponential monthly, which is this huge support, and we have 48 hours to close above this one, and hopefully above here, but at least above this one. Otherwise we can have a fake out, a fast fake out, but still will be a bit more holding the line in terms of monthly structure. So this is the monthly structure. It's also on this area. And okay, so I'm going to the low high time frame. Just remember, we are getting oversold, already got oversold in terms of market structure here on RSI, on the daily, but we can still come to test the support here, and maybe because we have the weekly close, we don't know if we come back down to test the weekly 50 moving average and suddenly close above the monthly support and then push higher, maybe until the 47.53, and then reassess if we manage to come to this area, and you can have a big bounce, make good profits on the swing trade. Okay, so let's see what we are doing. So now, and we have to think about market sentiment. If you look at YouTube, many people, like today, saying buy $5,000 of Bitcoin and you will be millionaire. This is your buying opportunity. But if you look at the chart, this is just bad. Of course, you can have, if we close above this monthly support, this yellow line, which is this candle close, and the 12 exponential, we can have a bounce. But the market sentiment, I will look for lower highs here to come down again, here, until here. Of course, we can go higher. and you can just swing trade these and leave like 20%. And if it goes up, up and find support on these supports, you can just add to the position. So you can do a good swing trade from here to here, and it's like 40% profits on only on Bitcoin. If you go to alts like Link or Matic, you can do 100% profits maybe, or 50 or 80, 100, 150 or more. So you can play with a couple of coins like Ethereum and Link and Matic and Bitcoin. I think those are enough to diversify your positions on crypto. So for now, we are trying to hold the support on the monthly, but remember, if in 2 days we close below this yellow line, we have support here on the 21 on 24.8 plus the 25.7 Fibonacci, but of course we have the moving average, which is, it's an area here, and we have the previous all-time high basically here of Bitcoin, and the 20 simple moving average plus the Fibonacci here on the around 19-20K area. Okay, so we don't know what we will do. Bearish volume coming, market sentiment, gold. I think all the big players sold here, took profits here, put it on gold because it was doing a bullish formation already on supports after a long way down, and so they are protecting themselves on gold and other commodities. So this is where we are, supports here. If we, in the future, we break down from here on a monthly and weekly basis, we have this trend line and all these areas here. Remember, everything is possible. We have the trend lines, we have the moving averages below. This can take months, this can take years, maybe 1 year, 2 years, who knows, but be prepared, they are going up. If we start going down, they will be flat, and then maybe just keep on going flat, and then like here, and then if the price holds, we can break down or hold and go up. So area by area, just be prepared. Indicators are pointing down on the monthly, as we can see. And the monthly has been quite helpful to understand the rejections. It's been quite precise in terms of price action. You just need a month to decide what you do. This red candle gave basically the top, and this trend line that I draw, also 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, gave the top as well, or the temporary top here, plus the candle close, plus the structure, everything, and of course the indicators. So everything was pointing down, but you saw all the news, everyone was buying the top. So you need to understand charts, see the market sentiment, understand what the price is doing, understand what's happening, and just react to that. Be prepared for all the situations. Okay, so this is the monthly. Remember, this looks quite bad. It's one of the worst candles in the Bitcoin history, like red candle. So this is where we are at the moment, and I think we will have follow-up. Of course, we can have a bounce, maybe until this week here, maybe until this trend line, or maybe this trend line that we didn't act, will be acting as resistance, like before it acts as support. So good profits can be done. Okay, so I'm going now for the weekly. Remember, this is Bitcoin. If you like to play alts, everything is connected with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes down, alts go down big time. If Bitcoin goes sideways up, alts and find support, alts go up big time. Maybe it doesn't go to all-time highs now because just we can have bearish retests only, but you can make really good profits. Okay, so let's see what I can say more. The internet got stuck a little bit, the chart, so I'm waiting for the buffering a little bit. So give me just a few seconds, hopefully. Okay, now it's working. So it was trading view got stuck, and now I'm going to the weekly. But remember, the monthly is quite important for you to decide. If you look at all the market structure, it worked quite well in terms of supports and resistance. alongside the moving averages and alongside candle closes. So this is the weekly look. This is what looks like. Remember this one here, we closed below the fib, the golden pocket, and I said this when we closed. So this was already like a sign that maybe we didn't manage to get there. Of course, we could have been there, but we didn't come yet here. And now the moving averages, 21, 20, and the 12 are pointing down, so they will act as resistance. And we are here pointing down 24 hours for the close, and we see the 50 simple moving average here, which we don't know if we come now here or here or here or here or to the 200. Nobody knows. I don't think we will come here. We will stop here, bounce, and then the bounce we don't know until where it goes. If we bounce from this one, close above the 12 moving average and hopefully above the Fibonacci, and then hopefully above this market structure, which is the monthly resistance, will be this one, the first one, and then of course we have the top ones, this area here. If you draw horizontal lines here, 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 you know exactly the points that you need to act when the price, when or if the price goes there. So you can make a resistance here for a lower high, you can make a resistance here for a lower high, you can make a resistance here for a lower high. You have this trend line that needs to be tested as resistance as well. You have this area here that is really strong for a lower high. So many areas that you can use and that act as resistance or support if we close above. Okay, so now we are looking bad. We are trying to hold still, but it's of course, it's like shorts being liquidated. That's why the price is like taking a while to come down because people are trying to short. Of course, we can still go up today and hold the daily support, which I already showed. But in terms of weekly, I don't think we will come here or here during today, and seems more obvious that we come here, at least look just by looking at it. So it's a matter of patience, wait for confirmations, wait for candles to close, wait for a weekly candle to close, wait for a monthly candle to close. If you are uncertain, just be patient. And don't act, don't trade, because impatience is very bad for trading and emotions. So just be patient now. This looks bad. Indicator is flat here on the RSI. Even if we go down up, this will be resistance as well. We have also this area that can act as resistance, but just be patient. Remember, we have all these areas that we don't know where the price will come. And when we come down, if we come down, just act where we stopped on the support, on the monthly, on the weekly. Wait for a bullish formation to be formed, a higher low on the low time frames, a higher low on the high time frames, and then act. You don't need to get too weak. You don't need to catch falling knives, and so just wait for the price to hold in some of these supports on the monthly, weekly, and then of course daily, and then 4 hours, and react to that and make your risk management on that. This is for like swing tradings and trade. If you're just an investor, of course, don't buy a top. So on the weekly, if you're an investor, you just, as I always say, wait for the price to touch the dots here on the 30 on the RSI, and from there down, just buy a little bit, like 5%, 10%. If it keeps on coming down, you buy 10%, you know. If it comes to a place that you will never expect Bitcoin to do it, then you can act with your cash and buy some more. Imagine if we come down these areas, we never know. In the future, if we go up and then suddenly we have a big crash that comes down hardcore to this trend line, and suddenly we are here for months, maybe a year, months, up, down, down, down. Suddenly we go to 300K. We don't know, but be prepared looking at this for all the situations that can happen in the next years. and just act on them. Just don't just check price action, check structure, and see where we are, and check market sentiment, what the big guys are saying, what they are doing, what the price is doing, and what you read in the news, and if the price is doing what you are seeing on the news. This can also be head and shoulders, which is a bearish formation. We come down here, bounce, make another shoulder. I don't know if we pass here, or we can have a wick here, and then roll over and roll down. If we start going up and we close above here, we can, any breakouts from this yellow line with candle confirmation, or if we wait until it goes higher, goes there, comes down, holds as support, then we can have a big breakout. So everything is possible. You just need to understand what we are doing, work on supports when we test as supports. Okay, so this is the weekly. This is where you buy as an investor, so you can make bids on the way down. For instance, now at this moment, as I said, I bought Bitcoin here, I bought Bitcoin here, I bought Bitcoin here. I sold most everything. I just have a little bit now to buy low again. As on Ethereum, I bought on $100. I sold almost everything now on 3,500, I think, euros. And I sold also on 2,000. So I've been selling, but I sold the most of it, 3,500, and I still have 20% of my position if we go higher. And now on the dip, I will buy again where we stop on the supports. And I have bids for investment from 300 euros down, maybe until 20 euros, I don't know. But I have small bids there that I'll just accumulate, and then I have at least 50% cash that I can make big moves, but manually and not catching falling knives as an investment. But I'll leave my bids on the places I see the fair value, and I want to invest on Bitcoin. And then with cash, I can just leverage, I just can balance the portfolio. Okay, so this is Bitcoin. This is what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to the 4 hours just to see what we are. Remember, weekly close in 24 hours, monthly close. Be patient. Don't try to act now in any, if the price starts to go up now and you start buying, suddenly maybe in 12 hours we go down. So as we see, we got a rejection from the fib, trying to hold. This is the support here, the monthly wick, and then we have the 12 exponential here, which is kind of a line also with the monthly support. I forgot to put the yellow line here, but I think it's on the same area. And yes, so we are breaking down also this trend line, as we see here. So many people were buying here, and then suddenly they are caught because this is just bearish retests, and people think this is a bullish chart, but it's not. It will only start to look bullish if we start closing above here, or above here, or above here, and make a higher low compared with all this structure. Only here we start making higher lows. If we look at this, only if we start closing above here, we can have a chance to come here and break the whole time high. But until we pass this area, this is all bad, and this are just bearish retests until we find a base, and the buyers will step in. Okay, so QQQ is still okay. So the stock market is still fine, although we are in some tops. We don't know what will happen soon. We need to be prepared. If the stock market also comes down, with Bitcoin coming down, and Bitcoin and stock market corrects big time here on S&P, NASDAQ, and QQQ, especially QQQ, which is the tech sector, we can even go lower than everyone expects. So be prepared for some bubble scenarios that can happen in the near future. But if we hold the support, just play the bounce. Okay, so this is where we are. So I can put a little bit. Another thing, which it's kind of important at this stage, the dollar index It's quite important. 1 second, trying to hold, open. One second. But basically, the dollar support, we got into a support that I have been speaking on previous videos for a long time. If we break this area, we can come down big time, but we are holding, as we can see here, and already above the 21. Of course, we have big resistance ahead, but this trend line that we hold finally the support, and I have been speaking about this support for a while, we are still in a bearish zone. We need to close above this triangle, but this trend line, the chart is still loading. So I'm waiting. Okay, so this is the trend line that, wait for it to load. It's quite important to hold at least for a bounce. And if we bounce from here, it's a sign that the stock people are getting into cash, and the stock, the equities and Bitcoin, whatever, people are afraid. They take profits, and then you see the dollar at least bounced for a little bit because it looks quite bad. It's taking a while to load. The internet is a bit slow, and TradingView as well, because of the crash. Many people are with the charts open at the moment because of the price action. But maybe I'll just put the monthly. But it's quite slow at the moment. 1 second. But anyway, this trend line, it's like a multi-year trend line. And if we break down this 89 area, we go to the 84s, 81s, and this will be very bad for the dollar. And but basically it's what's happening to the dollar. So we might have a bounce from this area, but if we lose this, it's quite bad. So this is where we are. This is the monthly. So the trend line was made also with the monthly and the weekly. Basically, it's these points with that area, and we are trying to hold here. Of course, we can have wicks down and then close above, like a false breakout. But let's see if we still manage to come until here. But indicators, we can still, the dollar, of course, look, this is the base for the dollar. It's the 22 area on the monthly RSI, and we've been like in this always going up. Of course, we didn't manage to go to all-time highs, and this seems like a dead cat bounce, but let's see if we have enough strength. This will be a huge resistance, and if we close below this one, we can come to the base again and still make a low, higher low, maybe even make another higher low here, even below this area, or if we hold this one, we make another higher low around this area, and then we can try to go at least to there, who knows. But indicators, as we see, this is a multi-year thing, takes a while to play, but eventually the support on the dollar, it will be the 20th year area on the RSI. So let's see, we can have still a bounce from here, but doesn't look good. This looks bad. We need to close the month above here. And remember, it's weekend, so the markets are closed. So let's see how we open on Monday, tomorrow. Tomorrow, still 1 day for the monthly to close, but the weekly, it's already closed. Still above support, so it's still okay for a bounce, but remember, indicators pointing down. This is a falling wedge, so this is a bullish pattern alongside with the trend line. So we can still have a bounce here, but the RSI, let's see the daily RSI. But dollar doesn't look good for the long term. So this is where we are. This will be resistance. RSI, we were oversold. We are trying to go up, but we still can come down. But we had 3 oversolds, and now, but we already got to the top. So now we are trying to decide what we do. So we are coiling for a move. I think we will go up, but if any closes below here, it's easy to spot. on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, and we can come down at least, or if we come below, and we can do a double bottom here, of course. So we still have this range here to play. But it's important for the stock market and everything, all the markets. So a bit of, for instance, Ethereum, no point, Cardano, everything looks bad. So Matic, which was one of the biggest movers, and the chart on the monthly, it's quite simple to act. So see where we are, look at on the monthly or on the weekly. 1 second. So on the monthly, this is just, because this is Coinbase, remember, what you can do on the monthly basis, you draw horizontal lines in the weeks. The support on Matic for the long term, it's here, as simple as that. This is the accumulation area for Matic. Hopefully it holds here when the bear market starts, in this range. And then hopefully if this holds and Matic is a good coin, it will hold, people will get bearish, forgot about it, and suddenly we will have a rise. But this is support. We are holding this support for now. When the candle closes, this will act as support resistance. And now we go to the weekly. It's more simple to understand what we did. We got the rejection. I can put the lines here. You can draw the top here. So we gave the top. It's hard to put it with it. So I did this one. I don't know. Maybe it was on the daily, but I will do it again. So as we see here, rejection, big rejection, close, monthly close. We got a big move up, but in the end we closed above here, and below this one we keep on coming down, and we can be like doing something like this, just shrinking here until we get into a bottom. This is the base from this area. This week also on the weekly chart, a base. So we got this bounce here on the weekly, and now back above this support, and we are in this big range that you can make big profits here, depending on what Bitcoin does. And only with the monthly chart, it's quite precise. And from here to here, for instance, is 60%. And we went 100% bounce when on this last Bitcoin dip. And when we came here, we did 120%, I think. And from here until there, also quite a big move. So you can use, this is a good one to trade. Remember, when we get into the bear market, this will be the area, because we went up without touching any of these supports. From here to here, this is the big box, but this is the base. For now, we have the structure that the base is around here, but the candle closes are here. So be prepared. You can now make a trend line on the weekly that you do it like here. And now your top on Matic can be here. And you can take profits until here, and try to get into a base. And then you can go to the daily, whatever, just to see where we are. And now we are trying to find support here, but you can take profits there. Now you can adjust basically. You can do it on the weekly. You can make 2 trend lines and see what we are doing. So I'm just playing around a little bit here. So market structure, here we had this breakout with retest. We went up, we came down. So this is the support basically here, 0.68 or 60 cents on Matic in euro. This is the range. Any closes below this week or this range here, this is the next area. So it's quite, will be the future support. For now, it's still holding, but remember, support will be here, support will be here. So this one was already tested, so let's see if we manage to push higher, but will depend on Bitcoin. Okay, we broke the structure. We can have a bearish retest on this trend line, but look what we did. Everything that goes up really fast here, there's there was no support, no retest. So in the future, all the halts, if Bitcoin fails, this is the area. This is the trend line that was not tested. Just be this trend line, you can do it from here, but you can also do it from here, which is stronger. This is the trend line that in the future in a bear market you can act on it alongside this structure. So even if you have to wait 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, remember, just make this and be patient, and sometime in the future, check if the price comes to this range. But until there, any areas of support that you see price holding or making bullish patterns, just try to act. And if you are shorting, short from the exact positions. Don't try to short like now in a support and suddenly, only if we close below here, you can try to short maybe until here with a stop loss above here or above this week with bids in short, not just with one entry, otherwise you can get liquidated. Or you just use this range and be patient and see if the price comes to this trend line, just act on this trend line, which will be more simple. This trend line also have, you can do 2 trend lines, that one, and now this one will already work. If you see that point with this point, gave not the wick, but gave the candle close, and then we roll down. So 2 options you have now. You can use this one and use that one with the wick. Okay, so basically you can do that for any other coins. Okay, link, little bit of link. So bearish retest coming down, so big profits here. See, we have this one here, the ascending wedge, which I said it was a bearish pattern, and everyone was still bullish here, but in the end was just a bearish retest. Big move up, rejected here mathematically. So if you understand markets, this is a bearish retest, breakdown. Now this will be resistance. The moving average will act as resistance. We can have a range here, liquidate shorts, but overall we can come down to the base. This is one of the areas, another, and then of course we can come down to other areas, lower areas. But understand, big moves, big rejections, bearish retest. Okay, back to Bitcoin. Actually, Bitcoin is now holding, maybe doing a short squeeze. So still holding. Remember, 1 week, 2 weeks, and we still have this trend line here that can act as support. But remember, people are getting liquidated now. Basically, we closed. It's a matter of patience. So this is the chart. This is what I'm seeing. I think hopefully helped everyone in terms of investment and trades and swing trades, and just a patience game and a psychological game. Okay, nobody knows the future. The price can go higher than everyone expects, can go lower than everyone expects. Just see price action, look at the support, look at resistance, and act, and have money on the side to act. Don't use all your position sizing in every trade, otherwise you can run out of bullets and start losing money. You know, all your stop losses getting hit, especially if you have big size positions. So try to learn risk management, because you need to learn how to play this game, which is very hard. As an investment, as an investor, it's more easy. You can buy it 2% here, 3% here, 5% here, 10% here, 20% here, 50% here, and maybe you still have a little bit of cash. If we come down lower, you still have money, and then this will make an average, and maybe in 5 years from here we'll be on 300K, 200K, who knows, and you just dollar cost average on the way down, but always have cash to buy when nobody expects, maybe here, who knows.